Moadim L'Simcha. We find ourselves almost at the halfway point of Passover. And as a wise man once said, the mark of a true classic is you can experience something 1,000 times and always find something new. I have now half-century-old memories of my earliest Passovers. And I can see the Seder plate that my parents had. Till we got a new one, we had our old beloved dark blue one with a chip. My late father, may he rest in peace, would have called that a lucky Seder plate. And I have early memories of being at school, at the Jewish school I attended in San Francisco, the Hebrew Academy. We did holidays like nobody else. And our model Seders were for the ages. And I can remember, in addition to the tastes and the sounds, singing Dayeinu at the age of about 4. Dayeinu was perfect for young kids, especially for ones that were a bit Hebrew challenged like myself. Simple, repetitive, easy Hebrew, and a catchy melody. Perfect. So every year we sing Dayeinu. And this year I have to admit, it feels and sounds unlike any other year. Dayeinu. It would have been enough. I have echoes of these Sedarim that we just had a couple of days ago still ringing in my heart. This is a strange and terrible and astonishing way to be observing Passover. And the truth is, we're not observing anything this year. We're not looking at anything. We are living and doing the Passover experience in ways I don't think any of us could have ever imagined. Nonetheless, there are not words to express my gratitude for having this tradition upon which to lean during this time of coronavirus and the shelter in place. To have the history, to have the rituals and experiences of Pesach, the community and good feelings upon which to rest during this time. Dayeinu. I started thinking about Dayeinu well before the holiday, and I'm keeping right on going. The 15-stanza Dayeinu that we have in traditional Haggadot is at least 1,000 years old. The version that we have of it appears in the first known Sidur, the first known prayer book, put together in the Babylonian Academy of Surah under the leadership of Rav Amram Gaon. It's our first Sidur in the 900s. Some scholars imagine that the Dayeinu, as we have it, must date from at least the 2nd century BCE, since it mentions and ends with the reestablishment of the temple. That's probably not as likely, but however you look at it, the Jewish people have been Dayeinuing for a long time. But I thought about it this year and wondered, as did a lot of us, maybe for the first time, is the usual way we hear Dayeinu even correct? Would it have been enough had any of the items listed been the end of the story? Well, I dare say not. Splitting the sea was great, but the dry land was kind of necessary. Making a final statement to Pharaoh and his charioteers was dramatic, but that manna really came in handy. And without the Torah, where would we be? Stopping with the desert provisions would have really left us hanging. Rabbi Menachem Leibtag suggests that Dayeinu does not mean it would have been enough, we didn't need anything more. Instead, he looks at the song's position in the Haggadah. After the retelling of the Exodus story as we do it, and before the early parts of the Hallel that we sing before that much anticipated second cup of wine. Rabbi Leibtag reads Dayeinu as, if only this event had happened, it would have been enough for us to sing praises to God. I really like that. Hinenu. Passover 5780. A year like no other. How do we harness a sense of Dayeinu in our lives right now? Rabbi Ephraim Goldberg teaches that Dayeinu was always meant to focus on what we have, not on what we don't have. Each stage and each stanza of Dayeinu is incomplete. Each is imperfect, but nevertheless, Dayeinu. For most of us, of course, this Passover is different from all others that have gone before. Much is missing. But if we can learn to say Dayeinu, to focus on what is and still praise God, we are setting ourselves free. This pandemic has forced us to redefine essential and non-essential. And many people are finding that they're astonished with what they discover is the essence, the ikar of their beings, finding that what they have is enough to still give thanks and praise to the source of creation. Now, this little rumination on Dayeinu was imagined and delivered on a Zoom minyan. And for those of you who've been experiencing Zoom for a while, you know that we can't sing together on Zoom. There's just enough of a delay that it creates a bit of chaos. And so I imagined that something we could do together was, instead of to do a community sing, we could reinvert the last two letters of sing, and instead of S-I-N-G, we can have S-I-G-N. We can sign together. For that, there's no delay. So I took it upon myself to learn the gesture for the American Sign Language version of enough. And not enough in a sense of, oi, it's enough already. That's a different sign. But enough in the sense of sufficient, fullness, the true meaning of Dayeinu. So you may not be surprised to learn that the sign for enough, in the best sense, is a cup. It is taken, I imagine, from the sense of Psalm 23's Kosi Revaya, my cup runneth over. So you make a little cup with your hand, and then you take your other hand and brush lightly away. It's a sign that says, I not only have enough such that my cup is overflowing, but I share with you. And so this is inspired by Rabbi Goldber's reimagining of Dayeinu for 5780, with some additional verses toward the end. After each stanza, please take your hands and make the Dayeinu gesture. If our children have teachers and opportunities to learn, even if they are missing their campus, its amenities, and the planned ceremonies of springtime, if we have each other, feel connected, and are part of a community working together, even if we can't get haircuts, manicures, or upgrade our wardrobes, if we have simchas to celebrate, babies are being born, and we know of couples entering a sacred bond, even if they can't be marked with the usual pomp and circumstance. If we can observe Passover, remembering the divine energy that powers the world and brings redemption, even if this holiday we are celebrating not where we normally would be or with the people we are normally with, if we sleep under a roof that does not leak, if we have sufficient food, a home to shelter in, cleaning supplies and toiletries, if our prescriptions are filled and we have access to health care should we need it, and above all, if our temperatures are normal and we can breathe without assistance, if we and those we love have health and safety at this moment, Dayeinu, it is sufficient to give praise to the one who created all. May what we have be Dayeinu, sufficient for our needs and wants, abundant enough to share with others, and providing inspiration enough to sing and give praise to the Eternal One, the Creator of all. May you be blessed. Moadim l'simcha and Chag Sameach.